Hello, my name is Marilyn Harder. I am a Pilates instructor and master trainer, and I'm here to help you anatomically troubleshoot your roll-up, or also known as the seated rolled up or seated rolled down. So the first thing we want to talk about is the full purpose of the exercise. So most often people get stuck in the roll up and roll down because they're not engaging their entire front side of the body with the entire back side of the body. So really truly it should be a body sandwich with all the muscles on the front engaging all the muscles against the back to create a fluid and dynamic movement. However, there are certain things that happen often anatomically that inhibit our ability to do so. So let's first start to look at our legs. So if you're like me, and you're a little bit hypermobile, where when you fully extend your legs out, your heels lift and the knees are bottoming out. Well, in this position, it's anatomically very challenging to keep your leg sandwich connecting, which is basically like your quadricep and your hamstring co-connecting or co-contracting in order to enhance or connect through the movement. So if you are hypermobile like I am, or tend to lock too furtively through the knees, what you want to do is start with a hamstring curl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig my heels into the earth like I'm trying to curl it towards the center of the earth and feel my glutes start to fire. Now I'm feeling the bottom of my hamstrings quite a bit, but right now I'm flexing my feet. And if I relax it, pretend I have no feet, now I can really get a good deep hamstring connection. And then now I want to invite the quadriceps to kind of join into that connection, try to keep them evenly contracted, and then slowly start to extend the knees as far as I can go without losing my hamstrings. So there, now I have that connection. I find that if I flex my toes, my quads turn on quite a bit and I have that desire to go overly extended. So instead, I'm going to relax and forget that I have feet. And if I want to fully challenge that movement, then I point the toes and reach them in opposition. But the overall goal is to keep that sandwich going, quads and hamstrings. Now, the second group of muscles that connect in our roll up are our deep abdominals along with our glutes. So those are oppositional muscles. When you do that roll down and the legs start to float up, it's because the hip flexors and the abdominals have taken over and they have no glute support from behind. So the body doesn't want to allow you to continue to unfurl. Last but not least, the last piece of that connection is our thoracic tug of war, where those shoulder blades drop back and down your back, and then on your exhale, the ribs sink in against it. So those ribs fight against with your thoracic spine with the shoulder blades to create a sandwich from front to back. When all parts are active, you get a really nice, solid, smooth movement. All right, last but not least is curvature of the spine and or a really deep pelvic tilt that occurs at the bottom. That is what your washcloth is for. So I'm going to go ahead and place this right where my natural curvature would be and sit up nice and tall. So I'm going to draw the sits bones together, kind of narrowing them, making sure my hamstrings are on with that hamstring curl. Quads are on to invite through the party. I'm going to exhale and I'm going to begin with a pelvic tilt. I'm leading with my pelvis, but not my ribs. So the head and shoulders stay stacked. I'm going to exhale, curl through the pelvis, keep the glutes on, reach the toes in opposition, keeping the back of the legs firing, and I'm going to slowly roll down. Most people now want to round and hollow, curling out or caving their chest. That turns off that thoracic tug of war. So draw those shoulders back and down and give me a deep neck flexion to connect. Now I feel the tug of war. We're going to roll down to that most challenging space, the space in which your body wants to start to let go. Pause and hold that for deep inhale, deep exhale. As you do, feel that corset tighten and flatten. See if you can feel the sits bones draw together and deepen that pelvic floor. So we're going to hold for 3 good deep breaths. keeping your thoracic tug of war on, and then re-stack it back up nice and tall. When we pause in that sticky place, what we're doing is we're creating endurance in that place we normally start to float or connect with. Okay, so now we're going into our full roll down. Draw your sits bones together, find your hamstrings, quads connection, extend the legs as much as you can without losing the hamstring, shoulder blades against rib cage, and then now we're ready to go. Curling through that tailbone, I'm going to start to draw that back and down. Deep abdominals, glute oppositions, legs reaching in opposition, deep neck flexors, shoulder blades, and ribs. And I'm going to slowly peel through, letting each vertebrae come through, having its own turn. At the bottom, I'm going to send my arms up overhead. But I only am going to go as far as I can go without popping my ribs up. Because if we lose that tug of war, we'll have a really hard time coming up. So we'll float our arms up above our head, shoulders back and down, ribs connected. Now glutes fire against lower abdominals, hamstrings fire against quads, and I'm going to reach my toes away. I'm going to exhale, give myself a little cervical nod, curling up at the rib line, making sure not to jump my head forward, keeping it connected, and then continue to peel up through that spine. Restacking it back up and diving forward, finding that stretch, and then drawing it either back up nice and tall to the top or into a second roll down. Now, the purpose of that towel was to bring the ground up to you, so that way you can support through instead of imprinting at the bottom. So I'm going to show you one more thing at the bottom of that roll down. Often when people get stuck, it's because they've pelvic tilted. So notice how my tailbone is now reaching up to the ceiling, and as I come up, I'm anatomically stopped. My legs are no longer straight, they're slightly bent, and I really truly can't move past this point. So the towel helps prevent or inhibit that imprint, allowing us to get a nice smooth movement and build the connection and control. So if you're an instructor or someone who is working on the perfection of their roll up and roll down, practice these tips until you can take that towel out and do it smoothly. Think of this as a set of training wheels to get you where you want to go. Finally, I'm going to leave you with this. The roll up is the prep work for the teaser. So if you're someone who struggles with teaser, work this roll up until you can do it like butter, and then teaser will become so much more available. So thank you so much for checking in. I am Marilyn Harder, Master Trainer. Happy to be here with you today.